Hey y'all. We've got a Monday edition of Man of the Musings podcast. Just because Kevin's got a wonky work schedule this week. So this week it's just the two of us. Sorry. I know we've had guests on the basically almost every episode this year, this season rather. So you just have to listen to us. We're going to talk about some of the things that have happened in college football. What's going on with UNC basketball, some of the college basketball stuff. We're definitely going to touch on our day in New York City and Brooklyn yesterday for sure. If you guys haven't seen the post on the Manly Musings podcast Instagram, go check it out. You can check out the post that Kevin and I both put out there as well. We'll dive into that. We'll definitely talk about a couple other things related to West Virginia. And then kind of just see where the episode takes us. We've got a hard, deadline, so Kevin can go do his yoga and his stretching tonight. So we want to get him out here in a timely manner. And maybe it's a good thing we don't have guests because usually those go really long.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I've said, we're about this is episode 9, episode 61 overall. We've had a guest pretty much every week for you guys, and I think just going back to basics, just the two of us for today, and we're just gonna give a little recap in the sports world. There's not too much that has happened because typically not too much happens on a Monday, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's keeping it super simple today on this Monday evening.
The only thing that happens on Monday is Black Monday after the NFL season and they fire every head coach. About it.
That's true.
It's really about it. So let's talk about the best news probably in college football and the most surprising news. I would have to say at the same time. Deion Sanders is now the head coach at the University of Colorado. I didn't think he'd go to Colorado, to be completely honest with you. I thought he would stay in Florida or, I would have thought Auburn would have gone after him or somebody else. So interesting spot for him, to say the least.
Yeah, Colorado definitely was a surprise to me. And it was interesting when the reports started coming out that they were one of the first schools to reach out to him. But after a couple of days of thinking about it, I think Colorado is a place like Colorado probably is the best place for him. Um, I think, with Deion, first he started off at Jackson State, putting HBCUs on the map. He did, I don't know how many seasons he was there. I think it was around 3 seasons, but he had a great 3 seasons over there with them. Got them to national prominence. You had people talking about Jackson State like they never have before. And I think how he took a place like Colorado, who's had a rich tradition in college football. They've won a national championship before in its history. They haven't been relevant in probably the last 20 years. So I think he probably took it as a challenge to maybe start off. And, yes, we probably assumed him to go to those big schools in Florida, but hey, why not try some? He wanted something different,
Mm-hmm.
and he's definitely got it over at Colorado. Props to Colorado for giving the shot, giving uh giving him a shot, and I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. I forward Merritt the video conference of him meeting the Colorado players for the first time, and he pretty much was straight up and honest with them. He goes, "I want everybody in here right now. Go ahead, do your thing in the transfer portal. It's he makes more room for us to keep the best here.
Yeah.
Unless you're the best, we're going to try to make you quit, and we're going to make you work because
I love that
it's
line.
coming."
I love that line where he goes, when someone asks him what are the summer workouts going to be like, he's like, you might have a couple of days off, but you're going to be here every day and you're going to work and we're going to work you until you either quit or you're better. I thought that was fantastic. That video, if you guys have not watched it, is up on YouTube. Straight up made me feel like I wanted to run through a wall for that guy. And I don't play college football. So if you're a college football player especially at the University of Colorado or Colorado University, whatever one it is, you should be amped up. There should be no player on that team that doesn't come ready to fight. I know from his other press conference with the actual press that his son is going there. His son is transferring straight up to Colorado. So he's got his quarterback that he wants. I bet he takes that damn tight end and that cornerback that he brought to Jackson State to the top in the country just a year ago from high school. Those boys are going to Colorado. His quote though, "I'm bringing my Louis," means he's there for business. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with a program that, let's be frank, has been one of the worst in the past 10 years. And they used to be a decent school, decent football program. So let's hope they can get back to that.
I think they had a couple of good years, like within the last 5 years. I remember there was a time they were somewhere in the Pac-12, but they never have ever made it to the top where it's Colorado consistently every year. It's you're good for a year, then you're back to the bottom again of the Pac-12. Then you're in the middle, then you're good for a year. So we'll see what happens if Prime can get them to be together. I'm very interested to see what recruiting is going to look like. I'm excited to see who he's going to bring in. Like you just mentioned, a bunch of those guys, he already announced his son's coming with him to Colorado. How many of those guys from Jackson State are going to make the move to Colorado? So I'm definitely intrigued about what's going on over there with the Buffs in Colorado.
Me too. I'm going to definitely be paying attention more in 2023. I did though, where I think they interviewed the athletic director and they were asking, where do you get the money from to pay somebody like Deion? Because his salary, is not going to be cheap. And he goes, don't worry about it. I have, it's basically, he has an IOU out to Deion on coming to going to Buffalo. He's like, yeah, or Colorado rather. And he went, yeah, don't worry, we're gonna get it. We've got the resources. It's okay, so you convinced this man to come here. Good for you. I can't wait to see what this guy does for this program. He's going to make this team more relevant, and of course, with the rumors flying all around, since USC and UCLA are leaving the Big Ten, the rumor has been that Colorado is going to come back to the Big 12 and bring ASU, Arizona, and Utah with them. That would be massive if that actually happens, because now you're in a prominent football or prominent of the Big Five, right? It's one of the better Big Five conferences. Pac-12, let's be honest, it's a low tier top Big Five school area, conference area. They haven't done well in a lot of different sports. So I think this move, if that happens, that will be massive for him, because all of a sudden it's now I'm going up against big boys in the Big 12. So not to say he's not going up against really good competition in the Pac-12 with Oregon, Stanford, I would say UCLA and USC, but they're gone. But ASU, there are still good schools, but they're better schools somewhere else that if conference realignment works, he's going to have a hell of a time, and it's going to be fun to see what he does.
Yeah, you brought up the point of USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten. I totally forgot about that whole thing until you just said that. But yeah, it's going to be prime time. He said it plenty of times in the words of the players. He's coming. And I'm excited for him to arrive because it's going to be real exciting.
It will be. And if those players aren't ready for it, man, I don't know what to say, what to do. That just would be horrible. Let's talk college basketball though. This is crazy. And this happens all the time. This isn't something we shouldn't be surprised about with college basketball in the rankings, but the rankings came out again today. The Tar Heels have decided to lose, I think, 3 or 4 in a row, and went from number 1 to not ranked.
Yeesh.
Yeah, not good. But I also don't think Duke's ranked either, so I'm okay with it. As long as Duke's not ranked and UNC is not ranked, it's okay. If Duke was ranked, I'd be really mad. But I do believe who is up top. I gotta remember. It's been a day for me over here. Oh, while we're looking this information up, Baker Mayfield.
It's
We'll talk about
Houston.
that too.
It's Houston.
Houston's still at the top.
Right now, if I'm looking at the AP 25, top 5 right now, Houston, number 2, Texas,
Yeah,
number 3, Virginia, number 4, Purdue,
and we
and
played
number
those boys
5,
good.
yeah, and number 5, the Huskies of UConn.
Wow, they came out of nowhere.
They, you know what they did really well in the Phil Knight Invitational in Oregon as well. So, I mean, they props to them because
Yeah,
they put on a show. I'll give you the rest of the top 10 merit. Number 6, you got Kansas,
mm-hmm.
7 Tennessee, 8 Alabama, 9 Arkansas, 10 Arizona, and then yes, you so your hatred for the Duke Blue Devils, they are currently at number 15, and then pretty much rounding out the last. There's a bunch of other teams. I'll let you know the last 5.
Ooh.
Iowa State, Creighton, San Diego State, Mississippi State, TCU, and Ohio State, the last 20 to 25.
I do see that West Virginia got some votes in there.
Yes, we did
That's
get
good.
about 8 votes, I think, if I got that correctly. But
Yep.
us losing to Xavier didn't help things. Which
God.
we'll talk about West Virginia basketball in a little bit, but your Tar Heels, sir.
I don't know what's going on. It's you probably could have seen the writing on the wall in the first few games where they were close games to no-name teams that they should have been easily blowing out. So and then apparently one of their better players is out for 4 to 6 weeks because he broke his hand at practice. So that doesn't help you out. Hopefully they can rebound. We're only a month into the season, really. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. A lot of things will be up and down throughout the rest of the year. You don't know what Cinderella team out of nowhere is going to beat a top-ranked team on any given night. So it will be interesting, but I do want to see them turn this around. From things I've seen, the highlights that I've seen, it just doesn't look like they're on the same page, which is not a good sign. So hopefully it works out. But keeping with the college vibe here, we were together yesterday when this news broke. College playoff is set. The bowls will be announced, I think it's by tomorrow, correct?
No, bowl games are already.
All bowl games
they've been allocated.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I thought they did it the following day, and they just did like the New Year's Day bowls.
I could let you know the bowl games if you're interested, sir.
I'm gonna pull it up, but yes, go through it.
All right, so we'll talk about the top 4 first. So you have the Fiesta Bowl that's going to be on December 31st. You have Michigan versus TCU, and the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, in which you'll have Georgia going up against Ohio State.
Oh my God, those would be great games.
The rest of the bigger bowls that year: Rose Bowl, Utah versus Penn State, Cotton Bowl, USC versus Tulane, which it's going to be very interesting. Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Kansas State, and then the Orange Bowl, wrapping up the big 6 of the bowl games, going to be Tennessee versus Clemson. I am very interested to see that Utah versus Penn State game. I think that's going to be a good one. And how, after the showing that USC had, if they're going to be able to bounce back against a Tulane team.
I'm intrigued by the Tennessee Clemson game because those are going to be 2 backup quarterbacks going against each other.
Yeah, because I think I know Clemson's quarterback just entered his name into the transfer portal, DJ Lele, which I
Yep.
believe is his name. And is their starting quarterback hurt for Tennessee?
Yeah, he tore his ACL during the LSU game, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then Notre Dame, they play South Carolina, who honestly, South Carolina came on big at the end of the season. Oh no, I think that's when the Tennessee quarterback tore his ACL was against South Carolina. But Notre Dame lost their starting quarterback. He put his name in the transfer portal as well, so he's gone.
We have lots of that, and I know we're going off topic, people, but the amount of starting quarterbacks that have put their name in the transfer portal is out of control, and we haven't even hit like the start of bowl season yet.
I don't like we haven't even got to the point where anyone truly cares about it. Like, unless you're a fan of that team, you're kind of just going, okay. The only one that I know that West Virginia is excited about is there's a couple tight ends that are leaving their schools. I believe one's from South Carolina, and then a wide receiver that was at Tennessee who committed to West Virginia and decommitted from West Virginia to go to Tennessee is now entered the transfer portal, and he's a top target for West Virginia again. So big names are coming out. We'll see where things land. But Kevin, what are your predictions on the two big bowl games, the playoffs? Who do you think?
The playoffs?
Yeah. Because I know what my ass is doing on New Year's Eve. I'm watching football.
It's gonna be tough. I think I want to go. I think I want to go Georgia, Michigan, with Georgia edging it out against Michigan at the end.
I think Georgia easily wins because Ohio State loses one of their top wide receivers. He's out. He's entered his name into the NFL draft.
He's going. Yep.
But I guess it was not because of anything but talking to doctors because of all the injuries he's had. They said there's no point in you going and playing in this game, potentially getting hurt again. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go focus on getting ready for the draft, which good for him. Go do the smart thing for you and make money. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to pick the upset. I really want to see a Big 12 team in that championship game. And I really think TCU can do it. The way that Michigan played against Purdue the other night, granted, Michigan still won, but I think Purdue showed the way to beat them is ground game, short passes, and quick ball movement, which TCU, as we have seen, because we've watched them the majority of the year being in the Big 12, is very good at doing that. And they're very good at comebacks, and they're very good at keeping games close. So I want them to win. I want to see them go up against Georgia, and Georgia will inevitably win a back-to-back.
What Georgia does.
Yeah, Georgia's gonna, unless something crazy happens and their tight end gets hurt and their Benson gets destroyed, then we'd be fine. Do you know he's 25? The quarterback for Georgia.
Is he really? I mean,
yeah,
I feel like I shouldn't be surprised.
He's been in college for 7 years.
I mean, hey, if you ain't got nothing else better to do, you might as well stay your ass in school.
Yeah, good for you, bro. I hope it doesn't take you that long to get your undergrad, and hopefully you get a master's or something out of this too.
Hey, man, but he plays for a school like Georgia. He wins him a national championship, he'll be set for any job the hell he wants.
Oh, he has the job. He won him the championship last year. He was JT's backup originally to start the year.
Yeah.
And then JT got hurt.
Out of control.
Do you want to pose this one question, though? What are your thoughts on the top four? And is there anyone else that fall within that top 10 that were deserving of having a shot at that top four spot?
I'll be 100% honest. I personally think they got it right. I think I look at it this way. Georgia has been consistent all year round. They've just been extremely superior. Michigan won only, I think their main one loss. Hold on, let
Michigan
me
hasn't
get
lost a
Michigan.
game.
They haven't lost a game, right?
Right. The only two teams that have lost a game is TCU and Ohio State in the top four.
Yeah. So Michigan undefeated. I think that's a no brainer.
Yeah.
TCU, they lost one team. Did they lose? Like,
They
TCU's
lost.
undefeated, aren't they?
No, TCU lost the title game. They lost the Big 12 title.
Okay, so
They
they
lost to
lost to the
Kansas
big.
State.
Yeah, so their only loss the entire year was the conference championship, and then I believe Ohio State's one of their main losses was to Michigan.
Their only loss
So
was to Michigan.
yeah, so I look at it as, I think that is as solid of a top four as you can get it based on how their records played out. Because, say for instance, if you were to put Alabama in that top four, that means you've pretty much said that all these games are completely meaningless.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think they got it right. The way everything played out, the four they had in there was correct. So
yeah, I think so too. I agree. Georgia and Michigan definitely are number one and number two, hands down. They could be flip flop depending upon how you look at their strength of schedules, but Georgia's held on to number one spot majority of the year. TCU came within an elbow of winning the Big 12 title. There's the picture of the quarterback diving, and his left elbow hits before the ball goes over the line for a touchdown. So that was so close, ridiculously close. And Ohio State got blown out by Michigan, but overall put up really good numbers with a consistent team all year. I agree. If you put in a team like Tennessee or a team like Alabama, who, yes, do they deserve to have an opportunity to play in that? Yes, because of how good they are, but they both lost 2 games. And they both lost big games. It wasn't like it was small. It wasn't like, oh, TCU, yeah, it was a big game that they lost, but it was the only game they lost at the end of the year to another ranked team. Besides that loss to Kansas State, they had beaten 5 top 25 teams. They didn't lose to top 25 teams until that game. I put the nod to TCU. Plus, watching Nick Saban beg on national television is pretty funny. I don't know if you saw that last week when they were asking him on College Game, or it was a College Game Day or what it was, and he's like, "Well, I think we all deserve it." Blah blah blah. It's like,
man, if he
no, it
was
wouldn't.
undefeated right now, he would be like, "No, they gotta earn their spot." Blah 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 blah. It's just
Yeah,
that he's mad that he's mad that his team wasn't that great this year.
no, and I don't. I wonder if we're seeing the end of, because it's the first time ever that we haven't had Clemson or Alabama in the top 4 for the college playoffs since it started.
Which, in my opinion, I think it's super
It's
refreshing
fantastic.
as a college football fan, because it's just like every year, oh, okay, well, that's going to be the game again. And of course, we'll probably get like that with Georgia if they continue to just slaughter everybody within the next 3 to 4 years. But I think I'm excited for when we expand that initial 4
And
to. Is it going to be 8 or is it 12? I keep drawing a
I
blank on
believe it's supposed to go to 12. So I saw it was officially approved last week. So 2024 will be the official college playoffs for the national championship game. It'll be your I believe, top 12 teams. The first 4 teams get an automatic bye, I believe is how it works.
Nice.
And then they'll play the winners of certain brackets, and then it'll go from there. So it'll be great. It'll be a lot of football for over a month period. Plus, you're going to have your other bowl games going on. So a lot of football coming up in the next couple of years. Be a lot of fun. Hopefully maybe we'll see our boys up there soon and playing in that playoffs. If they can do that, that'd be fantastic. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
So with the bowl game, you're correct. It's seeds 1 through 4. 1 through 4 get first round buys. 4 highest remaining seeds will host lower seeds at sites to be determined. But from what I keep hearing is that the quarterfinal and semifinal games will be played at rotating bowl sites. National championship will continue to be played at neutral sites. And then existing conference relationships with bowls will be considered for game placements. So it looks like pretty much all of them are going to be at like neutral sites, which is I think a good thing.
Oh man, I like that. Wasn't the original idea for them to
Yeah,
have
to
the higher
host
rank to
people.
host, which I think would have been amazing. I do agree that having a neutral site is preferable because it gives everybody the chance to be there to cheer on their team, and it doesn't just screw over the
The
away
one
fans.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I'm looking at it, it's like say for instance, if you were to split everybody up into it now, obviously the top 4 would get so the this is this is an older one. Oh, that's stupid. Why didn't they just so the one they had is when they had it was given to the 4 conference champions,
mhm.
Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, Utah. So then TCU would be next, and then TCU would end up facing Tulane. Like how fair that would be for Tulane to go to TCU or
Right.
like a game, you know?
But then you have to. The thing is it's going to be a neutral site, right? Well, you have to find
Yeah.
the neutral site that's in between both schools. You can't
Yes,
sit
that's
there
what's
and
going to be a
say,
tough thing.
okay, so I'm in California, you're on the East Coast, you're coming to California, and it's still going to be a neutral site. No, it has to be smack dab at Texas. It needs to be played at the University of Texas. It's pretty close. It's still gives advantage to California. It's a little closer, but
Or the Cotton Bowl is a good option for
right.
if there was something like that. Yeah,
So
that has to be that would have to be something to think about. So certain places are going to need to like figure out ways to have locations. But
yeah,
that's going to be very interesting because normally these like games are locked in like previously. They just don't advertise who's playing until it gets closer.
right.
So I'm very curious how it would work because I feel like there's going to be a point where somebody's just not going to be happy with
Oh,
where they're played.
no one's going to be happy. It's still going to be the same old BS that we have nowadays. I wish they would just go back to the analytics and the computer systems to do all the rankings instead of having judgmental athletic directors do it. But that's not the point of this conversation. The point is just to, talk about what the college football playoffs is looking like and what our thoughts are on it. With college football, and we kind of mentioned them before, let's slide over to our Mountaineers. We'll first talk about the basketball team real quick. Was it Saturday night they played Xavier in Ohio and they lost. They had the game all game. They were dominating them. I watched the whole like most of the first half and all second half. Dude, they were killing it. They looked great. And then all of a sudden it was a turnover, foul, bad shot selection, another foul. And it just allowed Xavier to chisel back up and end up, I think, winning by 10. And it was ridiculous. I was like, what the heck, guys? We should have won this game, go home with a victory, and then only have one loss on the season. But now we have 2. I think they need to find their prowess on defense. They need to figure that part out. Trey Mitchell looked really good. Besides he had a lot of fouls, so he needs to clean that up before Big 12 play. But they look good. They just need to stay consistent. They need to stay fighting every game. They can't just take their foot off the gas or do one screw up and all of a sudden blow up in their face. So
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see that West Virginia game because I was working, but I was looking at the stats on my phone. Oh no, I was at a wedding with this weekend. That's why my voice sounds like the way it is. But I just feel like, again, it's the beginning of the season. There's always one of those losses that we get that just really is like it's a head scratcher, and I think this is one of them. But I also look at it as this is a very new team.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna we knew in the beginning before the season started that there's gonna be some bumps in the road like this. But what has definitely come apparent is that we play to the competition that we're going against, which we need to just figure out a way to just whoever we're playing, you need to step on the gas and then continue to press on the gas until the game is over. You can't just stop playing. You can't just not move the ball around. Can't keep shooting threes that aren't there. You gotta stay the course, and hopefully in time our guys figure that out. Big 12 play is coming. We do have a couple of games that are coming up within the next week or so. Um, if I'm looking at the schedule,
It
uh,
shouldn't. They should win majority of these games that are coming up.
yeah. So I'll
Um,
give you the heads up. We have Navy this Wednesday. On Saturday, we're facing UAB, playing
that'll be a good game.
Buffalo,
And Buffalo's a good
playing
team this year too.
Buffalo on the 18th, and on the 22nd playing Saint Stony Brook.
Yep.
And then so that should we should literally be, what are we right now? We're 6-2. That should literally be take us to 10-2 to Big 12 play.
I think we should. The only one I would be worried about is Buffalo. I think that could be a potential loss, but I do believe we should be either 10-2 or 9-3 going into Big 12 play,
Yeah.
which
I feel because I
much
feel
better
like
than what we were
definitely
last year.
yeah, because I definitely feel like we should easily go through the Navy. UAB, we beat them at UAB the other year
Last year,
before.
yep, that was a big one. That was our biggest win last year.
Yeah, craziness.
Yeah, it's
So
pathetic.
I definitely think we should be 10-2 by the end of this.
Yeah,
And if we're not, then that means we have a problem.
yeah. If we only win, if we win 2 of these games, then we have a big issue. Then there's something else going on. If we win 3, okay, there's probably something there that we need to figure out, but you'll have a little bit of break between for Christmas and Big 12 play, so they can work it out. And the first is it the first game we play in Big 12 is Kansas? Because
Kansas
that's
State.
Kansas State, and then the Kansas game is a couple of days later, and that game is completely sold out in Morgantown.
Yeah.
Which when I saw that, I'm like, that's not a shocker. It always sells out. Everyone shows up for that game, so I am excited. Now that they're going to be a little bit more on national television with the Big 12 coming up, I'll be able to watch them a little more.
Yeah. I agree. It's tough having to go on like ESPN to try to search for our game. It's annoying.
ESPN Plus every day, Fox Sports 1. Ugh.
I know.
So hard to find the games. But 2 names have come up, and I just added one to our list here, Kevin, of West Virginia players that are have entered their transfer portal. We already knew about our tight end, or all the other one, a couple other players, which wasn't a surprise. But these 2 actually come to a surprise to me, but one less than the other. Reese Smith is leaving West Virginia. He is a stud baseball player, but also a pretty decent wide receiver. I'm okay with it. We have some good younger wide receivers coming up. I'm happy that I haven't seen Prather's name pop up on this list because there was rumors that he might leave, as well as Donaldson. So,
well, it is also Monday, 4:41.
Stop it.
Pray to God, nothing like that happens.
We do not speak that into existence. But this one is I'm a little shocked by this one with Crowder leaving. But I guess not, because he did not get any playing time except for the Towson game this year. That was the only time he played. Nico played in the Oklahoma State game at the end of the year. So,
Yeah, I feel bad for Crowder because like he definitely had some potential. It's just that unfortunately, there's just two guys that are just way uh, in this system are just way better than him, and I
mhm.
feel like he's a kid that he wants to go play, and if you're a quarterback, you should want to play. So maybe he transfers to somewhere that's going to give him some playing time, and then he moves back up somewhere. But he just unfortunately he got the short hand of the stick, and of course there's also another quarterback coming in this recruiting class. So
Yeah, isn't he like a 3-star, 4-star quarterback too? He's pretty good.
yeah, 3-star guy, but then also what? And I think he realizes this too is West Virginia is a big name program. I could also assume that we're gonna probably try for if there's a quarterback out there that we like, we might try for him also. And that's in the transfer portal.
I don't want to do that this year, only because I want Garrett to take this team or Nico. I want one of those two to take over. Um, Nice part is though is Nico didn't waste his red shirt, so he could technically red shirt next year if things transpire. Like you're saying, if we get another quarterback in the transfer portal, we could actually red shirt Nico, which is it wouldn't be a bad thing. It would give him to his junior year to actually then become the starter.
Yeah,
Maybe, but I do like what I saw in Garrett Green. He brought that running ability that JT Daniels does not have. Um, and they showed a stat line of all the quarterbacks in the Big 12. JT Daniels had negative running yards. Everyone else had positive running yards. So it's the way of the game now is you need to be mobile. You need to be able to at least
you need to be
move.
mobile. Yeah,
And Crowder can do that. Nico can do that as well, but he's also more of a pocket passer, but can move and throw at the same time. So that's always nice. Crowder was always a pocket passer. He wasn't going to move as much. He was going to
yeah.
sling it from where he was. He wasn't going to step out of the pocket. And if he did, you knew he was going to try to run a little bit and then go down, which is fine. That's the type of quarterback you are. Totally fine. I wish him the best of luck if, going to say a community college or whatever it is, getting more
You
reps.
probably could go down to Division 1 AA, the
Yeah,
FCS.
he could. Yep. If these two want to go to my old school, UNH, go right ahead. They need They need a quarterback. They need a new wide receiver. Go ahead. Do what you want to do. So, I am excited for that, but I'm also excited for this upcoming football season. And we'll kind of touch on that here with this part of the conversation with our new athletic director was introduced officially today. Ren Baker, the dude got off the West Virginia private jet in freaking J's, a whole suit and J's. I love him already. I love him. He can do no wrong at this point. No wrong.
He just
So
needs a blue and gold pair to match where he is now because he
I think
was
he had,
wearing a green pair.
was it green? I thought it was navy blue.
Yeah, it's like a clay green that he was wearing for the mean green he was formerly
Ah, it's
working
okay.
for.
It's okay. We're a Nike school. Nike will hook him up. Come on.
You would hope so.
Yeah. He'll just call over and be like, let's go. Or just ask Huggins to do it for him. Huggy Bear will do it. Considering
Yeah,
Huggy still wears sneakers that came out 4 years ago.
because Hugs can do whatever the hell he wants. So
Hugs,
damn right he rocks it.
he does what he wants. When that boy retires, he has a job in that athletic department doing whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah,
But they did talk about Neil Brown. If you haven't heard, you haven't seen the reports, Neil Brown is going to be the coach for the 2023 West Virginia Mountaineers football program. I think part of that is buyout reasons, like Kevin has mentioned a million times, because I always tell him I don't care. I don't want to listen to that. I just think we should get rid of him. But it is true. $16.9 million is a lot of money. Next year it's $12 million. So it's still a lot of money, but a lot less. And and it just goes down after that. But Ren was very good on his response. He goes, I'm excited to walk arm in arm with this guy into this upcoming season and see what we can do. He can't speak on the program right now because he's only been there for a couple of days. But President G, which is such a weird, I feel like I'm calling him a G, and it's GEE. He was at the press conference and they asked relative same question. And he basically mentioned that we had the toughest schedule. If you looked at any college football schedule across the board, who had the toughest schedule all year? We did. Yeah. We had the toughest schedule. We put our team in the worst scenarios, worst positions ever. You know, we went up against Pittsburgh. We went up against Virginia Tech. Then we go up against, top ranked teams in the Big 12. We don't go up against slouches, which I like. I know teams just do their warm-up games and their slouch games, whatever. But we really need to look at this because is it next year, the year after we play? This year we have Pittsburgh and Penn State.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough. The following year is Penn State, Alabama.
Yeah, we're not setting ourselves up. If we're trying to go to the college football playoff, the way we're structuring our schedule is not going to get us there because it's too hard. You don't see Alabama or places like Georgia doing the scheduling that we're doing. Like, you're not putting two Power 5 conferences in your schedule. You're maybe putting one. Yeah, and it's like there are maybe they can beat you.
They put one in there, and then they put 2 slouch games in there.
Yeah,
they always have a slouch game to start the year, or it's like a big game. Like they've been doing more and more now. One of your big games is at the beginning of the year to get everyone excited. Then you have a slouch game. Then you have an easy we could beat these guys. It's not hard, but it'll be a good game. Then you get into potentially a conference game, and then all of a sudden, mid-conference schedule, you have a slouch team. Like, we're going to bring UAB up for a practice. It's like, wait, what? What are you doing? Like, we need to do this. We need to change that model. And I hope that Ren does that. I don't care how much money Alabama is going to give us to go and do this series with them. Part of me doesn't want to do it. Just because of strength of schedule. It's too hard. We already put ourselves through the grind with Big 12 football, which besides SEC and Big 10, it's pretty damn tough. Every team's, always up for a fight. So, but what do you think about the new AD so far? I know he's only been there for a little bit, so.
Yeah, I mean, I caught his press conference a little bit. I think he's excited. I just, it's day one. He hasn't been able to do anything yet, but he's doing all the right things right now. He's shaking the right hands. It's just a matter of what's going to happen next. Because right now, he's got to really fix football. And that's going to be a strong task at hand. So I think only time will tell. And honestly, who knows how long? Like, I think right now, the program is in like a time period where like we're waiting on something to happen. Whether that's us firing our head coach, whether that's us all of a sudden getting better. We're waiting for something to happen. And until that happens, we're kind of in this odd time of like flux.
Yeah.
So,
and he has to, when Huggins retires, it's his job.
Yeah. Who are you going to replace? A legend.
That is a job I would not want. I'm so sorry, but I would not want that job to replace him. But he's going to have Huggins retires. Huggins going to have say on who goes there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know it. He's not going to just let an athletic director go and do it himself. He's going to be like, nope, I'm going to sit in on every meeting. I'm going to make the decision. And that's how it's going to go, which is fine. That's the way it should be, especially in West Virginia. Like, if there's one person that you don't piss off at West Virginia University, that's Huggins. And that's apparently what Shane Lyons did. And that was part of the reason why Shane Lyons is gone.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, shout out to Shane Lyons. He done what he's done, but he's no
Yep.
longer with us. I'm looking forward to see what Mr. Baker, Ren Baker, is gonna do. Um, just got to keep taking care of the state. And honestly, I'm not going to worry about until him to work with Huggins until Huggins decides he wants to leave, because right now he feels like he's got a couple more years left to go. So we're
Yeah.
just going to keep that positivity
Oh
going
yeah,
as he is.
he's probably got 3 or 4 more years left in him. But the one thing I did like, and I heard this on Pat McAfee's podcast, and it's been all over Twitter and Instagram and everything. The day Ren got the job, Ren reached out to Pat, and said, like, trying to mend that relationship, because that relationship with a man that has the media that he has, the coverage that he has been horrible for the past few years. He's doesn't rep anything West Virginia. He's got a couple things in his, on his podcast show with it, but that's it. And he came out and said it. We're the most, it was the worst team in the country, most disappointing team in the country on College game day. Man wasn't wrong. Man was right. But it's really good to see that Ren reached out already and said, let's figure something out. I want to mend this relationship. According to Pat, he hadn't opened the message yet because he's like, I don't want to leave him on red and not respond. So I think Pat will reach out. I think we'll start seeing some of the things we missed with Lions near the end. There wasn't as many former players back. I think we'll see a little bit more of that moving forward, and more openness of what the program does, allowing people into the buildings and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited.
Me too.
All right, Kevin. The world needs to know what Laker jersey you have on, because I was there.
Oh yes. So Mary and I had a great time going around. And sorry, I'm yawning. It's been a long weekend. But yes, I have the logo today with the classic jersey from
71-72.
Yes, 1971-72. Great jersey. I definitely feel like this is gonna be a really nice jersey to wear when it's summertime. So
yeah.
I can't wait to bring this out when the weather is not freezing.
Oh my God, it was so cold this morning.
Yeah, I woke up and I saw frost all over my car. I was like, man, thank God I'm not going to work, because I needed this day off to just recover. Like, I'm forever not going to have a voice. It just seems like I'm just not going to have a voice anymore until January.
Yeah, that's okay. Just smell just have a pack a day and you'll be good.
Goodness, guys, I just want to let you guys know that became a running joke at the end of last week's show. But no, I don't smoke a pack a day. I actually hate smoking. It's just I have to yell a lot at both of my work locations, and I'm just feeling the power right now.
Hey, I'll give it to you, man. I love that jersey. I actually, was that the one I told you? That was one I picked out because
You did, because I was like, "Do I go Kareem?" And you go, "That is the dumbest question I have ever had you say to me." And I'm like, you know what? You are probably not wrong. But
so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. That was funny as all hell.
Yes. But
Oh,
yes, I do like your shirt, Merrick. It's really nice. It looks like it has a taxi cab on it, and it does.
I got my tag. I didn't wear a hat today because I didn't wear one all day, but I wore my new shirt that Kevin was so graciously got for me. It is the Nike taxi shirt. So on the back of it has the fares and everything. Honestly, one of the coolest shirts we saw at the Nike store in New York City. We spent a long time there. We had a blast. We'll talk about that after we talk about fantasy football, because both of our teams so far are just god awful. But yeah.
So right now, I am on the verge of losing all three, but by the
Oh
love of
shit.
God, by the love of God, one of my teams is down by one. It's the kicker from Tampa Bay who I have left, Ryan Suckup. So if I can just get one field goal,
You
I'm all
win.
good. So that should be one W there, but I pretty much lost my other two. To put it in perspective, the one team in my one league, she beat me 222 to 99.
Oh my god, Kevin.
Yeah, pretty much like she had one, two, three, four players with I'm sorry, five players with at least 20 20 points.
Wow. Well, I'm on the verge of going 1-2 right now. I actually I could go 2-1 or 1-2. I'm definitely gonna win in one league. I'm up by 30 plus points already, and he has one person left to play.
Crushing it.
And it's Mike Evans. So unless Mike Evans goes off for like 4 touchdowns, then I'm okay. Um, next league, I'm gonna lose. I have no one left to play else to play, and I'm already down by 13, and she's got one more player in. And she has Mike Evans. What the hell am I? Wow, I'm playing against Mike Evans all over tonight. And then this is the worst. This league, my team decided just not to show up ever. You know, I have 65 points, and my buddy I'm playing up against has 57. He has Ryan Suckup. So I need Suckup not to score 8 points. I need Suckup to get like 5. Like 7 points is fine. I don't care. As long as he does not score 8 points, then I'll win.
Oh my gosh.
Like the margin of victory right now for him is 0.4. So I just literally need nothing from Suckup. Suckup just needs to be god awful all night.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't even know
That's crazy.
who's the Buck. Who are the Bucks even playing?
I literally just saw it. Hold on. I think it's
Oh, it's New Orleans.
yeah. And it was like a big like a rivalry game. I just couldn't figure out the name yet. They are oh, this is the wrong team. Yeah. At Tampa Bay.
Well, they still don't play against them well, so
Yeah,
maybe
it's gonna be tough.
maybe that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Alrighty. Oops.
All right, let's talk about last night and yesterday's all afternoon. Holy mother of God, we
Yes.
walked a lot.
Yes, we did.
We walked. Well, let's see. We both got to the city about the same time and met up around like 12:30ish
Yep.
at the Nike store. So if you haven't been in New York City in a while or whatever, it's back to pre-pandemic levels of people. And they closed down part of Fifth Avenue, which was pretty cool. So you could walk in the roads and basically get to stores easier. It was really nice. We spent, I would say, a lot of time in Nike. We checked out each floor. They got some cool immersion technology where they had you could try on LeBron 20s and actually try them on and play in them a little bit in a virtual setting, which was really cool. I thought that was dope. If we had time, I would have signed up to do it, but I've been bad because I've been
Yeah.
the old man doing that.
No, there's definitely adults that like to do those things too. But yeah, Nike NYC, it's their flagship store. Super, super fun to go into. Fifth floor, they had some customizations of hoodies, which I did a customization of one hoodie because I love when they do those customizations. You'll probably see it on one of these episodes at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But that it's like a whole spectacle. So like you go up all the floors, you got to make sure you go around. But I'll be honest, I think the longest time, the only reason we were there so long was because we had to use the bathroom, and the bathroom line was literally for
Oh my
like
God, that line was
45 minutes.
that line was ridiculous. Like the guy wasn't kidding. You need to get up there fast. Okay, get up there. Oh well, there's a buttload of
That's
people
why he
here.
said you got to go up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we spent a lot of time upstairs doing the customization stuff. But that was because we had to pick. You had to pick everything out and then do all of that. But you
Yeah.
you got
That was,
lucky. You got lucky. You were able to do it.
yeah. Yeah. They were originally not going to let me do it, but I was like, oh, they're like, oh, wait, well, how many are you doing? I'm like, I just really just going to get a hoodie. And they're like, all right, well, we have enough time for a hoodie. I'm like, all right, perfect.
Yeah,
So
I
they
I
let
am
me,
I am kicking myself that I didn't get a hat.
well, I knew that was going to happen, but I also was
That's
looking
okay.
out for you and did not want you getting yelled at by your wife.
I
So,
told I told my wife about the pigeon, and she goes, "Why would you put a pigeon on hat?" I was like, "The pigeon was cool
because
looking.
it's cool.
I thought it was dope." And she's like, "Oh my god." Bah. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, fine."
So after we went there, we went down Fifth Avenue. We stopped into a store that I didn't expect to see, which there was an entire store dedicated to Paris Saint Germain. Yes, that Paris Saint Germain for soccer. So we took a lap in there, and it was cool. So if anybody is a big PSG fan or you love Neymar and Mbappe, that is the place for you. So we stopped in there for a hot minute, and then we went to the NBA store, and we found lots and lots of fun things in the NBA
Oh my
store.
god, we spent way too long in the NBA store. Um,
But not as long as we were
and
in
Nike,
Nike.
Nike, Nike, we spent the most, but the NBA store was a lot of fun. They have 3 levels. Main level is basically all men's jerseys for every single team. A couple other things. Bottom floor is kids memorabilia, and I believe women's was down
Yeah,
there,
they had all that down there, which
which
is
is
different from the layout that I originally went to because
right.
what they
It's
usually
different
did
than what.
was that main floor where we walk into the store is all current team memorabilia, all current team apparel, jerseys, and everything. You go up to the top floor, it was strictly like hats, your accessories, all the type of knickknacks up top. Then downstairs was still kids, but then they had a whole section that was just dedicated to Mitchell and Ness. So
Yeah,
all your Mitchell and Ness product was down right on the bottom, men's, women's, and kids.
yeah,
So I think the layout is a lot better and easier to understand now. And they had a customization thing on both the bottom floor and the
and
top
the
floor.
top floor. Yep. But like we walked in, we were like kids in a candy store. Like, oh, like running around, like having way too much fun. I ended up getting a City Edition Tatum jersey for this year, which was great because Marcus Smart did not play last night, so it was good to switch out that jersey real quick. But honestly, I loved it in there. It was a lot of fun. Kevin enjoyed spending plethora of dollar bills, but
Well,
it was
I was originally
perfect.
just gonna get the jersey, but then
But
I ended
I
up running
pointed out
into
a
this.
shirt. Yeah,
Yeah, you made me splurge a touch more, but yeah, I was really just gonna walk out with this bad boy. Um, what was that?
that was my phone. It was like I didn't get just shut up,
Oh my
stupid
god, that
Siri
was
phone.
funny. Instagrammable moment right there.
Oh God,
But
100%.
yeah, I mean I was just gonna get this jersey, but I ended up buying like a shirt too, so that was cool.
Yep.
And then afterwards, NBA store, we took our ride to Brooklyn, which was a walk across, not too bad. Had to
No, walk was
refresh
easy.
refresh myself on how to walk around New York City because it's literally been so long.
Yep.
Um,
And
went
then
down.
fell asleep on the train.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, knew that was gonna happen because I was super comfy and it was warm. So fell asleep on the train. Train was only what 5 stops.
Yeah, we were on it for maybe 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, shout out to the Q train for working its magic. Um, then we went ahead, we were looking for some place to eat. Ended up seeing Dave and Buster's to go watch the football games, which was cool. Saw the Giants and Commanders not want to win the game.
Yeah.
And then we watched the Jets almost come back and win the game. So we got to check that out and relaxed there for a bit, and then we was on to the Barclays Center, where I needed to get me
And this is where
a
Kevin
jersey.
spent more green things.
So I found me. It was funny. Mary and I searched the whole way of the net store, and the net store
Horrible layout. Worst
way
layout.
bigger, way bigger than when I last was there, which was great. But the layout of the aisles was just like so small. Like me and Mary probably could fit the aisles and that's it. But then there was like 12 people in an aisle and you couldn't even breathe.
You couldn't walk down,
So
like, you couldn't comfortably walk down that aisle unless you were the only person in that aisle.
yeah. So I went spent my time looking for a jersey. Finally,
Because you
I run
saw a
into
kid
this like
wear it.
one guy. I'm like, yo, where'd you get this jersey? He's like, oh, they have it right there. I'm like, hey, you have an extra large? And then got me extra large, got me the jersey. I won't say who it is because that'll be for when I debut another jersey on another episode. So we'll keep
Mhm.
that hush hush for now. Then I got me a 10-year anniversary pin and
And a
I
t-shirt.
wanted to get me well, yeah, I definitely want and I wanted to get the t-shirt. I was hoping for a long sleeve because it's cold, but it's of the old retro Nets jersey. So I was like, I'm gonna rock with it. And then we proceeded to our seats when Merritt, I have to say, I thought I did a great job of our seats. I thought we had great seats for the game.
Oh, dude, they were
So
they were perfect seats, Kevin. You did a fantastic job. If you guys have not been to the Barclays Center, one, it is a perfect arena for basketball. They built it perfectly for that. You do not feel like we sat up in the 200 levels, but you felt like you're on top of the game. You're seeing it. You didn't feel like you were all the way up in the nosebleeds. So that was a great feeling. The game itself was fantastic. We had a
yeah,
blast. I'd have to say it was almost 50-50 Celtics Nets fans in that arena at one point.
yeah,
Um, there was a lot of Celtics fans cheering. I don't majority of the game that the Nets came out firing, had a great first quarter. All of a sudden, Jaylen Brown like found his Reggie Miller or something, and just kept stroking it from three. And he had a great game. Of course, Tatum finally figured it out in the second quarter into the third and just went off. Um, Kevin did fall asleep during the first quarter, which is pretty funny. I had to hit him.
I did fall asleep. Honestly, I knew it was gonna happen because I've been spent all weekend. Um, but yeah, it was funny. So the moment that I like was sitting down, and then when I woke up from my like mini nap, it went from being half full to the entire stadium completely full, which was
Yeah,
really funny.
on a Sunday night
So
with football in the area going on, that was a lot of people, which is great.
along with
The
also
Knicks,
the Knicks are playing at home. So you had football, you had the Knicks, you had the Nets all playing in one day. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Finished it up. You guys will get hopefully in the next couple of weeks you'll get the We Out Here version. Um, you know, our producer's a little busy because he's still in school, so he's got a lot of stuff going on. So we'll give him benefit of the doubt on that. But we ended it up. I got home by 11, like just about 10:45, and you got home like what, 10:30?
Yeah, literally like 10:30.
Yeah,
Got home. So super easy. Yeah, I think honestly the longest thing was just waiting for my bus to arrive. I was like, like
yeah,
the ride back to Barclays was super simple. It was on a train full of people because we're all going back, everyone's going back home, but literally it just took forever for that train to arrive. But again, great experience. Definitely would do it again, and we're gonna be doing more stuff again.
yep,
So, I know we have lots of things planned, so you guys will stay tuned. And I mean, I know you guys are probably like, "Yo, you guys are like traveling a lot just for this," but honestly, I'm still doing these things that I would normally do if I wasn't on the podcast. So this is just an added bonus. So
yeah. And we've got a lot coming up. We don't have anything left for December. December we are done with. because it's the Christmas time. It's a lot of
Mhm.
money is already being spent in the holiday season. But for myself, January 7th, I'm going to a Stony Brook Towson basketball game. So not too far from me with one of my buddies. And I asked him last night if he wanted to be on the We Out Here version. He said, heck yeah. So he will be joining me on that. So we'll have another mini episode there. Is it the end of January? We go to the hockey game.
Yeah, we got end of January where it's the Islanders game, so I will be driving up to you, so we can go ahead and watch that game together.
Yep.
And then February, February is going to be a very busy month for me.
Yeah.
So
You got a lot.
February 10th, it's me and Cyrus going to Philly to watch my Knicks play at the Wells Fargo Center. And then the very next day, I'm going to MSG with a couple of my friends to see the Knicks play against the Jazz at MSG on the bridge.
You better film both. If you do not film
Oh no,
both, I'll be
I'm
mad.
gonna film both. Now the question is, do I do Philly as its own episode and then New York does its own episode?
Yes, you got
Okay.
2 episodes out of that because we want to be able to see the full effect of Kevin in his natural environment at an MSG game on the bridge.
Yes. Which, one of these days, if we can find a Groupon for a cheap one,
yeah,
we could totally go and experience it together.
I would definitely
It's
be down.
amazing.
I've never been to
easy for
MSG.
you. And it'd be easy because you just got to go to 34th Street
I just
station,
can
take the train to Penn Station, right?
I literally can take the train from Ronkonkoma straight to Penn. That's what I did yesterday.
Yeah. So then I can
right
literally
off right there.
I can literally take the train right by my house, right into Penn Station, or I can do the same thing. I can take the bus and just simply walk the 8 blocks down, which is no problem at all.
No, the walking is nothing. It was like easy yesterday. And then March we have the Celtics Knicks game in Boston.
In Boston.
That, sir, will be a hell of a time for sure.
Yes. I gotta make sure I have the Monday off for that one so I can.
Yes, I do too. Just so we can travel back.
Yes.
That'll be our travel day. I'll probably have to work when I get home, but that's fine. I don't care. But yeah, that's the episode. Kevin, you got any final notes? Anything you want to add?
No. I think right now you guys haven't had an episode with just the 2 of us, so we just wanted to give you one. My work schedule this week is just crazy with the holidays, so we want to get an episode in. And yeah, so this is technically episode 61 overall. So we're just cruising. Like by the time it hits like March, we'll be 70, and then we'll be celebrating the episode 75, and then we'll be eventually hitting 100 at some point.
We'll hit 100 just before October next year. So,
oh my goodness,
everyone that's continued to listen, thank you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these We Out Here videos. We'll keep doing those. We'll figure out other events, maybe that aren't just sporting events that we'll go to, that we'll be going to. But yeah, guys, that's all we got tonight. So enjoy it.
Yes. Shall I outro us?
Let's go. You got to go to yoga.
All right. I do need to go to yoga. So here we go. Outro time, everyone. So first off, thank you guys for listening to us wherever you listen to us. If you need to find where we're listening to us, follow us at Manly Musings Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Play. We're also on Amazon. Feel free to continue to watch us on the YouTube at the Manly Musings Podcast. Follow Merritt at his Instagram at Merritt_P. Follow me at CakeWavis624. Follow the podcast Instagram for any fun updates at the Manly Musings Pod. We're going to have a couple of episodes coming probably back to back real quick. You'll have Jess's episode with the Governor's Challenge, which definitely you guys want to tune into because it's great because that's coming up this month of December. I probably may do a little something on our Instagram to help go ahead and just, shout out and promote it. Jess is my guy. And then, of course, this one's going to be coming out soon as well. And we're Out Here series. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. And just so stay along for the ride. We appreciate you. Have a good night.